I feel like Survive was, it again thought about the different and did research on the journey of like individuals that are farmers that commit suicide, and they're being not accepted at different hospitals, and so it's a higher risk of dying then. And then when they finally get to a place that will accept them, it takes 30 minutes to go through the process. I thought it was very smart the way it thought about addressing such a major issue.
I thought the tech development was interesting. The community engagement was interesting. The social problem it's trying to solve is farmers committing suicides in India. This is a really widespread problem because they're the hardest hit. And now with the basically the disaster of COVID-19, they're going to be hit even harder. Basically, they end up in a lot of debt, and because they can't deal with the debt they're in, they commit suicide. And this is like sort of like epidemic level proportions, unfortunately, in parts of India. And often the choice way of killing oneself is taking poison. So basically, this is a device that's deployable in rural settings that helps address that. And I thought that was interesting.
The last thing I will add and kind of just harp on what we discussed, really making sure that when we talk about social impact, that we're thinking about process, we're thinking about actual impact and not intention, and that community themselves are actually a part of the process and in many ways the co-creators, I think is really important, whether it's a student starting up or it's a professional that is deeper in their career. It is something that should be considered. And knowing that visual beauty does not equal social impact, but usability, and addressing root causes is what usually hits social impact.
For sure. I would also agree very much with that sentiment that as designers, our role isn't to just make something that's visually beautiful that agrees with our vision in our head of what something should be, but it's so much about listening, observing, taking that, and as designers, translating that into something that's effective, and then taking that and testing it and making sure it's actually grounded and contextual. And that's, I think, where our creativity can come in as designers, rather than dominate a narrative or a vision.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed by how even both professional and students kind of like think through like even the process, the material, and then the outcome. And I just feel that as a designer, how could you link that 3 components or 4 or 5 components and actually create the real impact that achieve your goal? And all the steps have to be synchronized as a clear objective.